Yo, fancy community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the ttfplproleague. It's your boy Michael back again with episode 11. And what a game week 8 turned out to be. It's one of those game weeks that will go down in history. It also somewhat feels like a season finale with the potential to be a series finale for the Light Blue Master Erling Haaland as another disappointing blank. Some captaincies wasted, and people just gaining frustration now with the most expensive asset in the entire game. The only saving grace for Erling Haaland is that game week 9 brings up the fixture of all fixtures versus Southampton at home, so that's why it just feels like a season finale with the potential to be a series finale, because another blank and all roads could lead to Erling Haaland leaving the majority of teams, and if he stays, I doubt that the captaincy armband will be put on him with such reckless abandon going forward. So an exciting game week awaits. But before we get into what you should do in the upcoming game week, we must look back. So we kick things off with how my team did in game week 8. So in a week where points were very hard to come by, my team somehow managed to rise in the rank by over 700,000 as we move from the 2.2 million rank now into the 1.5 million rank overall. So we're moving on up. And we look at my team, a 49-point game week. Was it a little lucky with some jam off the bench from Mikalenko? Well, let's see. You see in Flecking again, blanking, it's tough sledding for Brentford, yet again failing to keep a clean sheet. Gabriel had an awful day as Saliba got a red early, 1 point for him. And Vardy, only guy that we brought in for Trent Alexander-Arnold, a big haul, 10 points. So Vardy doing the business for us. In midfield, we could see that Saka was starting, but then ended up on the bench as he couldn't answer the call for Arsenal. So Semenyo came in and blanked. Foden came off the bench, provided an assist for 4 points. Rodgers' goal this game week, which was like goal dust, I should say, and then Bueno, he just couldn't find any returns this last game week. And then attack, as we said before, Erling Haaland blank, another captaincy just thrown into the dirty water this last game week. Accompanying him was Sil Blanky. Just tough watching the Englishman for Spurs right now, as he just seems to be avoiding the ball in the business end of things. And finally, Chris Wood, Monday night heroics from the New Zealander with a nicely taken goal versus Crystal Palace in their 1-0 win. So now looking at the red flags in my team, it's kind of like a rerun from the last game week, but now Konsa is not a red flag because of injury, but he seems to be a rotation risk as Pau Torres and Carlo seems to be locking in the centre-back positions. Cash and Digne in the Premier League. Matson did play yesterday in the UCL, so there's something to look out for. Can Konsa win back his spot? We don't know at this time. Saka remains an injury doubt. Missed the game versus Bournemouth, missed the Champions League clash. It's not looking likely that he will take part versus Liverpool, and Arsenal don't have great fixtures. And finally, Semenyo could be moved, but if he's held this upcoming game week, I will hold him through game week 9 and 10 as his fixtures turn green beams all the way going forward after those couple of tough fixtures. So now that we've seen the red flags, you may wonder what are the solutions. Well, firstly, we know now that Konsa is not sure now to even be part of the starting lineup. So what do we do? Well, it's all roads lead to Ryan Al-Nouri, as we are seeing people just purchasing this player like he's going out of style. I warned you all last week that he is a guy you're going to see everywhere this game week, and it seems that little take is proving to be true, as we are seeing the Al-Nouri numbers or the people bringing him in is astronomical. At 4.4 million, I'm sure this is going to rise to 4.5 million very soon, as I'm recording this on a Wednesday, because Wolves are absolutely green beams all the way. And we know that Ryan Al-Nouri is one of the best attacking defensive assets in the entire game. So 4.4 million, definitely a steal. But if you're not too sure on Ryan Al-Nouri or you already have him, I think that it's worth mentioning that Everton's defense is really heating up, as they are really playing well at the moment, and they're only going to get even better with the imminent return of Branthwaite. You have to pay attention to the press conference to see if he'll return for this game week, but he's definitely returning in the near future. But he's at 4.8 million. But the guy who I'm looking at could be Mykolenko at 4.3 million for those who don't have him. I already have the Ukrainian, but he's been playing absolutely well. I wouldn't say great in a Everton team again that is heating up defensively. And at 4.3 million, he could be a shrewd buy, if not to start, but to also boost the defensive options on the bench in case you get tripped up with one of your assets not playing. So Mykolenko and Ryan Nuri are the best defensive assets to come in at that $4.5 million range. And now we move into the meat and potatoes of the solutions. I know a lot of people have Saka and is wondering what to do with him when he's a definite sell. And I have two groups of players, 4 in total, 2 expensive ones and 2 not so expensive ones that I think could prove to be very beneficial, whichever role you decide. Firstly, it's Cole Palmer. I mean, he needs no introduction. I already said last game week that Cole Palmer will be the player that I'll be eyeing up for game week 9. I already got the necessary funds by moving Trent on to Vardio. I think this upcoming game week, I'm going to pull the trigger from Saka to Palmer, as I already have the funds, like I said. I don't think anyone needs any words or any narrative to paint in order to know how great Palmer is in this game. So Cole Palmer is definitely one that should be on your radar. Secondly, like I said last week, if Son is indeed fit, it will be all wheels up for the South Korean versus which seem to be a dead in the water West Ham. And this week, Spurs tackle Crystal Palace. So again, if you don't have Son, he's going to cost you an extra 0.1 now as he's 9.9 million, but you can load him up. We just have to be a little careful because we're seeing that he is missing training this game week. So maybe it clears up by Thursday, Friday, and he's available for the game this weekend. So definitely keep an eye on how Son trains, if he trains, and what Postecoglou has to say in the press conference. And now for the cheaper options. I know this may be a little late, but for those who are not keeping an eye on McNeil from Everton, the guy is absolutely performing leaps and beyond his price tag of 5.8 million. We know how the fixtures look for Everton. It's absolutely glorious. And McNeil is playing phenomenal football. So it's definitely worth to keep an eye on McNeil if you have the available funds to do it. I would recommend this transfer. And even if you have a guy like Semenyo, if you need that extra player that you're not too sure on one of your other players and how they'll do and you want to bring a player in for Semenyo to get some points, I think switching Semenyo to Dwight McNeil could be a shrewd purchase. It's going to cost you about 0.2 million more at the time of recording, but I think it could prove to be a shrewd piece of business. And finally, this is a guy who is finally on the radar after a 10-point game week. I think you have to keep an eye on Alexander Garnacho from Manchester United. And hear me out. I know that there is a lot of flack on United on the whole. They do play Tuesday, so we're going to get an extra look on how they go. But United play a team that's playing probably the worst piece of football in the entire league in West Ham. I think this is a fixture any team and any manager would target to bring attacking assets. And I think Garnacho at his price point of 6.2 million is a phenomenal asset for this specific game. And if you look at United's fixtures going forward, it's not completely horrible, but I know United are struggling for goals. But West Ham are so bad, I think that United will score. And at 6.2 million, it's not an asset that's going to break your team up where you have to cut a premium in order to get this guy in. And if you don't want to start him, I think you could have him on the bench. So again, Garnacho 6.2 million versus West Ham. All roads lead to points. So wheels up for Garnacho. And now that you have your solutions for the problems you may have, some assets that you want to bring in, some other observations that I'm making this upcoming game week is that it could be open season on Lopetegui and the Hammers. So it's wheels up now for United attacking assets if you held them. Again, I wouldn't recommend you buying like multiple United assets, or if you're moving in, I think the one that you could move in on is Alexander Garnacho, barring any misfortune in Europe this Thursday. But West Ham are so bad right now. I think if you have an attacker from a not so good team or a great team, you're going to start them. And according to who it is, you may absolutely put the armband on them. West Ham right now are circling the drain. Lopetegui seems to be out of his depth right now. We're hoping that he could turn it around, but he's definitely on the hot seat, and the seat is as hot as it could be. Second observation is Arsenal's defense. Now looking like a sell. Well, injuries could change a lot. Saka, Odegaard injured, Saliba suspended, Calafiori going down in Europe, and Timber also injured. So the Arsenal defense now is looking like it's going to be a makeshift of who's available and who's not. We are expecting Ben White, Gabriel to be there. Maybe Jacob Kiwior comes in. Maybe Calafiori is fit, or maybe Zinchenko comes back. We are not sure. Maybe Thomas Partey at right back. But right now, if you don't have Arsenal defenders, you're definitely not buying. No great fixtures on the horizon. Injuries galore and not playing well. If you have multiple, it may be time to sell maybe Gabriel or Raya. Preferably maybe Gabriel, because it's not advised to sell your keeper, but looking too good for Arsenal at the moment. The third observation is that Everton and Wolves on the rise as masses flock to Al-Nouri and of course McNeil. We're seeing these two assets becoming very popular. McNeil already getting the price rise this game week. We're expecting Al-Nouri to get a price rise very soon. So they're going to be very popular assets. So if you're looking to take a hit for an asset to be a differential, these two will definitely not be those differentials, as a lot of people are moving in for these assets. And finally, as I said on the top of the show, this just feels like a season finale for the Light Blue Master. Is he going to haul, or is he going to disappoint? It's rare that you could say that we could see a shift in fantasy this early, but Game Week 9 seems to be the battleground that we are going to get our answers to. If he hauls, it's going to be business as usual. If he misses versus Southampton, like if he blanks with Southampton at home, I know a lot of managers are going to move him out, relocate the funds to bring in other premiums. And even if you keep, the armband won't be put on him as easily as it has been in the past. So we are definitely right now at a crossroads. That's why it just feels like a season finale with the potential to be a series finale. So all eyes will definitely be on City versus Southampton for fantasy reasons. And will Erling Haaland haul, or will he fall? So we're definitely keeping an eye on that development. And now the final piece of business, after you've gathered all that information, might have one more dilemma on who to put the armband on, but have no fear, Captaincy Corner is here. Me, the number one pick for the last 2 weeks has absolutely gone bottom up, right? Erling Haaland mass millions captaining the Light Blue Master without any returns, but like I said, it's the season finale and you're definitely going to want to be part of it. It's Southampton coming to the Etihad. Erling Haaland, captaincy pick number 1. I didn't think I'd ever have to put a caution sign here, but it looks like we'll have to. But sometimes you just have to put the armband on Haaland versus Southampton and let it ride. So season finale, Haaland becoming number 1 on Captaincy Corner this week. So now the options 2 to 4. We're looking at Mbeumo versus Ipswich. He comes in at number 2. A guy who is capable of absolutely reigning in the points, plays Ipswich. So I think that Mbeumo deserves his number 2 spot. Returning to Captaincy Corner this game week, it's Cole Palmer at number 3. Can't put him any lower than this. I know that he has a tricky fixture this week, but Cole Palmer is Cole Palmer. So he comes in at the number 3 position. Number 4, you can't leave this guy off the list. Even though he's playing Arsenal, Mo Salah is going to find himself on Captaincy Corner with the scintillating form that he's been in. I mean, the Egyptian King just proving age is just a number as he's hauling other game week, as I would say. Massive performance versus Chelsea, taking the penalty and of course the assists and bonuses. So big game in game week 8 from the Egyptian King. And the cheeky ball play, again, this is the pick that is a differential play. It's not necessarily the 5th best player, but it's a differential play. So if you want to go against the green, go for the home run. This week I'm cheating a little bit because I'm putting 2 guys here. I really do like Watkins in Game Week 9 getting the rest in Europe as Durant took over the striking duties for Aston Villa. So Ollie Watkins should be all wheels up this upcoming game week, and he has a nice fixture on paper. And joining him is Garnacho from United. I never thought I'd have a United asset here, but if you're definitely going for broke, I think you could look at West Ham and who they're playing, and they're playing United this game week. I think that they are good for goals right now, and Garnacho is the best attacker that I like at his price point from United. So he enters the cheeky ball captaincy corner pick for this week. So that concludes captaincy corner for game week 9. Again, it's the season finale of the Live Master. We're going to see how he performs and if he could read any points. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. I hope you all had fun listening to me for yet another game week. I had a great time delivering the episode. And again, we want to hear from you in the comment section. If you like the picks, if you disagree with the picks, if you have alternative picks, you could go down in the comment section and let me hear your thoughts. Waiting to hear if people are sticking with the Erling Haaland for the season finale versus Southampton at home, or are they twisting to another asset for the captaincy pick. And while you're there leaving your comments, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I want to thank everyone for supporting me so far. It's been a trippy season so far. We started off slow, but we're gaining momentum now and we're climbing that ladder. So hoping for another big green arrow in game week 9. So good luck everyone, and like always, don't forget to do proper things in all walks of life. I'll see you all next week, and don't forget there's a Friday game, so don't think that you could go in there Saturday morning. Again, best of luck.